Well, what starts out as a shared love for one of the greatest basketball players to ever live becomes an enduring friendship in the latest play being presented by the Royal Manitoba Theatre Centre. King James tells the story of two men, Matt and Sean, who bond over a sale of tickets to see their beloved Cleveland Cavaliers and their then rising star, LeBron James. The show opens officially next Thursday night at the Tom Hendry Warehouse Theatre, but ahead of the opening night, actors Justin Fry and Eric Miracle join me in the Classic 107 studios alongside director Ray Strachan. Good morning to all of you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Nice to see you guys. So maybe, Eric, maybe we can start with you on this question. How much were you into basketball and LeBron lore going into the show?
I kind of essentially grew up in the whole entire LeBron lore. He was drafted the year I was born, and I've always paid attention to him my entire life. My family's big fans of basketball, so, this was something that wasn't so new to me in context of the history, so I'm a massive fan.
Okay, there we go. Justin, are you more of a LeBron guy, or are you more of an MJ is the greatest guy of all time?
Ooh,
I'm putting the hard questions to you early.
Yeah, I do remember growing up and having a Michael Jordan poster in my room. My dad is really into basketball. I ended up getting into soccer, so my dad's going to be really happy to see me.
Oh, there we go.
In the basketball shoes.
Fantastic. How do you channel those childhood experiences into what audiences are going to see on the stage for King James? Maybe we'll start with you, Justin, on this one.
Sure. Yeah. Of course, I think we all have those experiences when we're kids, just kind of imagining us playing in the NBA and, scoring a slam dunk and all this stuff. And I think that, certainly my character, Matt, he's kind of perpetually in that mindset. So that's been pretty easy to channel into this role.
I'm sure. Is it the same thing for you as you're playing Sean, Eric, to say, oh man, I'm going to be LeBron James in this. I'm going to follow in this phenom's sort of aura in this sense?
Oh, most definitely. I mean, every massive moment that I think happens in this play was kind of, I can almost remember just where I was in my life and my friends talking about it and how crazy they were. I mean, aside from the draft,
right?
but I can remember all these moments. So to bring that into the work, it kind of helps me channel what Sean may be feeling in that moment. And yeah.
There's going to be so many moments from the career of LeBron James that maybe people will see, not knowing myself, but off the top of my head, I'm thinking about the decision, for instance, to go from Cleveland to Miami. I'm thinking about the championships that he won in Miami, then with Cleveland. Maybe, Ray, I'll bring you in here as the director. What's that line that you have to walk between being true to sort of the sports lore and the stories that sports fans will know very, very well, as Justin and Eric have just demonstrated, and then walking the story of the play? How much does this show rely on that sort of referential sort of sports knowledge versus sharing the narrative between these two characters, Matt and Sean?
Yeah, sports is really the framework of what goes on. Like, we need to be on chronologically with LeBron James and his career, because that's how the friendship follows timeline-wise. So we have to be very accurate in that. And once we, put those nuggets of statistics and passion and fanaticism in there, that kind of goes to the wayside, and we really see these two grow as friends. So we kind of really get to dive deep into the humanity of these two characters and the evolution of their friendship.
Even broadening out a little bit more here, Ray, it's not often that we get the intersection of theater and sport, certainly modern sport in this regard. I mean, LeBron is still playing. He's still very much a part of the sports culture. What's that experience like for the audience to have that sort of intersection in front of them?
For the audience, I don't know. I guess we'll find out on opening night or previews. That's how I found out. I'll be there listening to the audience as well and seeing how they feel. It's quite parallel. Coming as a community, being together, kind of sharing a heartbeat, being in the same breath, watching a live event happen in real time rather than watching a movie or something like that. You're within a community. It's very ritualistic. So, they run very parallel to each other.
It strikes me also that in addition to being very ritualistic in the sports community, there's also a lot of stereotypes that exist about the sports fan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People who have been following an athlete's career for all of these years, people who are obsessed and watch every single game, and they hold these tickets and they go and support, they buy the jerseys, all of that. There's a lot of stereotypes that then are maybe again is maybe a question of balance to you, Ray. What's the balance between stereotype and maybe breaking the stereotype, or familiarity perhaps with a trope from the community, and then maybe trying to nuance it a little bit?
Yeah, like now that you bring it up, like playing on stereotypes, this friendship, this bromance is kind of, we're playing on the stereotype. Folks think it's very superficial. We go for beers, we talk about stats, we grunt like Tim Allen, and that's game over. But, sports kind of offers that open door to where we do have those deep conversations that you usually don't get to see on stage. So that's kind of what this play is really about. We get to see this friendship evolve and kind of devolve in certain points and connect back again. And I don't want to give the plot away, but
no, of course not.
Sports allows them to lay that framework to have a deeper relationship.
Maybe back to you, Eric, to ask, is that, as Ray's talking about that sort of experience of these characters and of addressing maybe these tropes, what is it like for your character, Sean, in this framework to explore friendships, and how many parallels do you see with maybe the way that you interact with sports in your own personal life?
I think this shows a great gateway to explore, specifically male friendships. I think what's kind of special and what is a treat for me is exploring the vulnerability of it all. We don't really get to see that often in the most typical friendships. And so I think having the crutch as being sports to kind of keep it as an anchor between us while there's some deeper things happening have been nothing but just exciting to dig.
Yeah. So Sean, Sean, your character's not Sean. You're Sean, and your actual name is Justin. My goodness, my brain. Justin, that thing that Eric was just talking about, that sort of exploration of the bromance, even that is sort of a trope in and of itself, and the vulnerability level, or even lack thereof, that exists between two bros, especially those steeped in sports culture. What's that like to try and illuminate that experience? Because that would, to me, it seems, would be the place where you have to really kind of confront a stereotype and then say, that's not necessarily the case.
Yeah, for sure. It's very interesting. I play on a sports team as well, and I'm sure we all have these experiences as guys, but probably not just as guys, but where you're kind of in this environment where you kind of have to put on this like kind of front of maybe masculinity, and so it's just been fun to play with that, and with these two characters, how they like how they're presenting themselves to each other, and then you kind of see like kind of maybe the cracks in those facades, and then they kind of open up more, and so you kind of see that kind of game being played between the two of them for the whole play.
What's that like to navigate as you've been putting this play together? It's just the two of you. What's that like to navigate that exploration of two dudes bonding over sports, going through those sorts of highs and lows of a friendship? It's a very vulnerable place to be in, I would imagine, for the rehearsal period, and then even to consider how to explore that in real life.
Yeah, for sure. It's been great because, we just have a really wonderful team, and it's been just, a great space to explore all of these different avenues. And it's just a great script as well. Like, it just, sets things up for us in a great way to, as I said, go down all of these different avenues, and there's so many different shades and tones, and so it's just been super fun.
Eric, what's that been like for you to navigate these sort of explorations of male vulnerability in a friendship context?
I think it's been a treat. I feel like Sean and Matt's friendship kind of emulates my relationship with Justin. I just meeting this person, and we're getting to very much just bond and open up and search deep with each other, and it's been dope, and also to kind of just sprinkle it in with bits of comedy and bits of sports, and then arguing points. And I just think doing this as like a two-person play has been very, very deep. Yeah, very deep, and it's nice to actually kind of have only one person to lock in and focus in on. And I think that actually, you know, at first I thought that would seem quite terrifying. But
Yeah, totally.
I actually realized it's quite special. So you kind of just learn who this person is, and you kind of get to, in the play and in real life, you get to learn who this person is and just make a space with them. Yeah.
Ray, you've been nodding along to a lot of what these two have been saying. What's it like to direct two actors navigating this kind of relationship dynamic, and how do you help them maybe explore those sort of ups and downs of a bromance relationship that's so rooted in sports culture?
Yeah. I've always been excited by two-handers. It's just this real focus on two people, their relationships, their communication, what they get off of each other, the energy that they share. I really love working on two-handers, so that always excites me. In regards to bromance, I can really bring my personal self to it. I have a podcast rooted in sports that I do with a friend that I've known for 30 years. So like I can bring that perspective, and I try and bring an openness to the process where I can share these experiences that we've been through over 30 years, the sports experiences, hiding in the Winnipeg Arena and the Winnipeg Juniors, you know, almost getting arrested at Bomber Stadium. I can bring those. See, they don't know that yet. I was going to share that close to the opening night.
Is live.
Very brave to put this onto radio in such a way.
I know. Hey, they can't arrest me for that no more. It's done. Statute of limitations, brother. But yeah, I get to bring a lot of myself to the process, which also is makes it very personal. And I feel like hopefully adds to the process.
Well, Andrew, even repping your podcast merch, I'm noticing.
Yeah, and what up, Ray and Benny Talk Sports.
There we go.
Get that shot. Get that shot. Yeah, yes, sir.
You talk about this sort of experience that you talk about on your podcast, being these sort of like Winnipeg sports fan growing up and coming into its own over the last sort of 30 years.
Yeah.
The story, lots of this is set in Cleveland, as I understand it, a working class sort of city, not dissimilar to Winnipeg either. What do you think Winnipeg audiences are going to take away from this show, Ray?
Well, of course, they're going to see the similarities in sports culture. Like, Cleveland has been through a lot of losing. And so have Winnipeg sports fans.
Indeed.
Like 30-year droughts and Grey Cups, the loss of the Winnipeg Jets. And so we've been through a lot of heartbreak, and we've also had a lot of good times. Like when they got the Cleveland Browns back, Winnipeg got the Jets back. So we really share this sports history through good and bad of these really fanatical fans, because we're in this very cold, isolated place. So we really have these attachments, and how much of our identity as a city is connected to these teams. Like when Cleveland lost the Browns, they lost a piece of Cleveland, just like Winnipeg lost a piece of themselves when we lost the Jets. And it felt like we got that piece back, like we were relevant in North America and in the world again when we got the Jets back. So
even more so now that they're on an 11-game heater.
Yeah, they're feeling good.
They're feeling good. So we're talking about what the Winnipeg audiences are going to take away from King James. Maybe I'll throw a last question to the both of you. Maybe starting with you, Justin. What do you think? So we're talking about what the audience takes away. What do you take away from this sort of a two-hander exploration of male friendship into your next acting work?
Oh wow. Yeah. I mean. Yeah, as Eric said, I mean, it's just been wonderful just getting to do this two-hander and connecting with your partner, and it's been really great getting to know Eric and you know, letting the relationship that we have outside kind of bleed into the work as well. And it's just been, just really wonderful. The play has just really taught me, you know, the importance of listening. And sometimes as actors, we really want to like kind of control certain moments, like, or, you know, you're at home and you're kind of planning things, but you never really know how things are going to go until you're in the moment, and you just kind of have to let things fly, and it's a real collaboration. So this has been a real great process to learn that.
Let it fly like Jordan in Game 6, perhaps.
That's right. That's right.
No Game 7.
No, that's right. No Game 7. Maybe, well, Eric, same question to you. What do you take away from this into your next projects, having the chance to explore this relationship dynamic in this sort of intimate setting?
Man, it's been really dope. I think some things that have been on my mind is just discipline, and most definitely honoring your scene partner. You know, I think, again, with two-person plays, there's no other thing coming. It's just you and that other person on stage. And so the best that you can do is just give your 100% to who's across from you and not think about anything else, you know, and just yeah, just honoring what you guys are laying down together. And I think that's something that's really going to help me. Being in other productions and everything with more bodies, I think the honoring, it wasn't really at the forefront, but now only having to have this wonderful guy in front of me, I think I'm really learning to just dial in. So it's been a treat.
Absolutely. I think audiences will be in for a treat when they check out King James, starting officially on Thursday, March the 6th at the Tom Hendry Warehouse Theatre, running until March the 22nd. Tickets and more information at royalmtc.ca. You can find links to our website, classic107.com, and on the Classic 107 app. Justin Fry and Eric Miracle, the stars of King James, and Ray Strachan, the director. Thank you so much for joining us in the Classic 107 studios to tell us more.
Thank you.
Thank you. Woo woo.